In an astonishing turn of royal events that has shaken the very foundations of the Danish monarchy, Crown Prince Christian has reportedly stepped into an unexpected leadership role, assuming duties normally reserved for a reigning monarch. This comes amid a sudden, secretive solo journey undertaken by his father, King Frederik X, that has left both courtiers and citizens stunned and scrambling for answers. Behind the palace walls, whispers of succession, internal tensions, and a power shift are growing louder. It is no longer speculation, it is reality. The future king is not merely preparing. He is already leading. The royal watchers first noticed subtle signs of change. Christian, the charismatic and poised heir, began attending high-level state meetings, reviewing state documents with aides, and making solo public appearances in place of his father. These weren't ordinary ceremonial stand-ins, they were critical roles involving state matters, diplomacy, and protocol. It was as if the Danish court was quietly initiating a soft regency under the public radar. And then the truth began to surface. King Frederik's sudden disappearance from the public eye raised questions. Where was he? Why had no official explanation been given for his absence? The royal calendar, normally filled with detailed schedules and transparent updates, was eerily silent. That silence was broken only by carefully staged photos of Crown Prince Christian stepping in for royal duties, wearing his father's confident smile and bearing the weight of the crown, if not in title, then in action. Behind closed doors, palace insiders began to leak tidbits of information. One senior royal aide, speaking anonymously, confirmed that King Frederik had embarked on a highly confidential solo journey abroad, unrelated to official diplomatic or ceremonial matters. Speculation ran wild. Was it for health reasons? Personal crisis? A secret mission tied to Denmark's international relations? Or was the king simply testing the waters for the future reign of his eldest son? Crown Prince Christian, at just 19 years old, is no ordinary teenager. Having been raised with a strong sense of duty, molded by tradition, and educated in the finest institutions, he was always meant to inherit the throne. But few imagined it would happen so soon, and under such mysterious circumstances. His maturity and commanding presence have long impressed both the public and royal advisors, but now, he is facing the full weight of royal expectations in real time. Christian's quiet assumption of power coincides with a period of deep transition in the Danish royal family. Queen Mary, ever the rock of support, has remained in Copenhagen, carrying out her public duties with a calm elegance. But even she has appeared more withdrawn in recent weeks, fueling speculation that something far more complex is unfolding behind palace gates. King Frederik, whose reign only began officially in early 2024 following Queen Margrethe II's abdication, has largely been seen as a unifier, a monarch with a modern edge, who balances tradition with a personable touch. His marriage to Queen Mary has long been celebrated as a fairy tale romance, but like many royal unions, it hasn't been without its shadows. And now, with Frederik vanishing on an unannounced journey, many wonder if the cracks in the royal facade are beginning to show. Reports suggest that the king's trip may be tied to internal palace issues, possibly even a personal reckoning with the pressures of his new role. Some royal analysts believe Frederik may be struggling with the weight of responsibility, especially as Queen Margrethe's legacy looms large over his every move. Others hint that this journey could be a symbolic withdrawal, a test run to see how Christian performs when left in the spotlight. And so far, the young prince is exceeding every expectation. During recent appearances, Christian has shown a remarkable grasp of diplomacy, engaging confidently with foreign dignitaries, presiding over state functions with poise, and delivering speeches that have earned praise even from seasoned critics. His demeanor reflects a new generation of royalty, respectful of the past, but clearly looking to the future. It's a delicate dance, and Christian seems to be performing it with natural ease. But with great power comes great scrutiny. The Danish public has watched these developments with mixed emotions, pride in the prince's abilities, concern for the king's absence, and curiosity about what this all means for the monarchy's future. The media, too, has been relentless, digging into timelines, piecing together hidden clues, and challenging the palace's silence. Still, no official statement has been made about King Frederik's whereabouts or the exact nature of Christian's expanded duties. This veil of secrecy is both intriguing and troubling. In a monarchy as transparent and beloved as Denmark's, prolonged silence breeds suspicion. And yet, It appears the royal family is playing a long game, carefully orchestrating a transition that could reshape the monarchy as we know it. Insiders have also noted that Christian has been quietly mentored by top royal advisors, including those who once served his grandmother, Queen Margrethe. This quiet preparation, taking place largely behind the scenes, suggests that the royal court has been planning for a scenario like this for some time. The timing may feel sudden to the public, but within the palace, the wheels of succession may have been turning far earlier than anyone realized. Christian's popularity among the Danish people is undeniably rising. His youth, relatability, and polished public appearances are earning him a new generation of royal supporters. On social media, he's hailed as the future of the monarchy, a young man who embodies the best of royal tradition and modern charisma. Memes, tributes, and fan accounts are booming with praise for his leadership style and sense of responsibility. Meanwhile, global royal watchers are comparing Christian's rise to other young heirs across Europe: Princess Leonor of Spain, Princess Elizabeth of Belgium, and even Prince George of the United Kingdom. Among them, Christian now appears to be the first to take on such a prominent and unexpected leadership role. The implications of that distinction are profound. As for King Frederik, the silence remains. No photographs, no sightings, no formal explanation. Some reports suggest he is in Switzerland, others hint at a private retreat in Scotland. A few even whisper of a discreet trip to a spiritual retreat in Asia, far from the pressures of court life. Whatever the truth, the king's absence is now casting a long shadow over the royal narrative. This secretive departure, paired with Christian's ascendancy, is now fueling speculation of an early handover of duties, if not an official abdication, then at least a semi-regency. If that happens, Denmark will be witnessing history, a teenage prince turned king in all but name, ushering in a new era for the Danish crown. The weight of royal history now rests on young Christian's shoulders, and if the past few weeks are any indication, he is ready to carry it. His calm demeanor, diplomatic savvy, and undeniable connection with the people suggest that Denmark's monarchy may be in safer hands than ever imagined. But as this silent power shift unfolds, one thing is clear: the royal family is entering uncharted territory. The Danish monarchy, long revered for its stability, now stands on the edge of transformation. The eyes of the world are watching. Every smile, every gesture, every absence is being interpreted, dissected, and analyzed. The stakes could not be higher. And so, with Christian rising and Frederik fading, at least for now, a new chapter is being written in real time. One where the crown may not officially change hands, but where the responsibilities have already shifted. It's a chapter full of mystery, symbolism, and deep emotion. The quiet roar of a prince stepping forward while a king steps away. As Denmark holds its breath and the palace remains tight-lipped, one question now echoes through the halls of Amalienborg and beyond. Will King Frederik return to reclaim his role, or has the young prince already begun his reign in all but name? The implications of Crown Prince Christian's sudden prominence are profound, not just for Denmark, but for monarchies across Europe. While many royal families navigate the challenge of modernization and the weight of tradition, the Danish royal house appears to be making bold moves behind closed doors. The transfer of power, though unofficial and cloaked in silence, feels unmistakable. Christian's transition into a more active leadership role might not have been announced formally, but his presence has already begun to reshape the public's perception of authority within the monarchy. In the eyes of many Danes, their young crown prince symbolizes a fresh era, one that speaks to a generation yearning for relevance and transparency in institutions that once seemed frozen in formality. Christian's charisma, authenticity, and ease in public settings are more than performative. They represent a strategic pivot in how the monarchy presents itself. He speaks not only to the older citizens who remember Queen Margrethe's grace and wisdom, but also to the younger generation, who see in him a reflection of modern values and evolving expectations. But where does this leave King Frederik? The monarch's unexplained absence continues to spark theories. One that has gained traction in political and journalistic circles is the notion of a deliberate trial run, a palace experiment to measure Crown Prince Christian's aptitude and public reception while Frederik observes from afar. If this is true, it would suggest a highly calculated and strategic mind behind the throne, someone not fleeing from duty but recalibrating the future. Still, not everyone is convinced. Some royal commentators believe Frederik may be overwhelmed by the pressure of succeeding a monarch as iconic as Queen Margrethe. Her abdication shocked the nation, not because it wasn't expected, she had ruled for over 50 years, but because she embodied continuity and national unity. Her shoes were always going to be impossibly large to fill, and perhaps Frederik, despite his years of preparation, felt the enormity of the task acutely once it became real. Adding another layer to the intrigue is Queen Mary's role in all this. Known for her poise and diplomatic savvy, she has been unusually quiet during her husband's absence. Traditionally a visible and steadying figure within the royal family, her reserved demeanor as of late has not gone unnoticed. Insiders say she has been offering constant support to Christian behind the scenes, serving as both mentor and buffer, ensuring that the transition appears seamless even as uncertainty lingers in the royal household. Some experts suggest that Queen Mary may be playing a larger role in steering the royal ship than many realize. With her background in communication and governance, she's uniquely positioned to guide both her son and the public narrative during this sensitive time. There's even speculation that her influence may have been critical in convincing King Frederik to take a temporary step back, giving Christian the space to test his leadership in a controlled environment. Meanwhile, Christian's growing confidence is evidenced not just in public engagements but in how he carries himself. Observers have noted his authoritative yet humble demeanor, his willingness to speak with both heads of state and everyday citizens, and his remarkable ability to convey assurance without arrogance. These qualities, rare in such a young royal, are being celebrated across Danish media, with headlines now calling him the Prince of the People, and Denmark's next king in spirit, if not in name. Interestingly, this sudden prominence hasn't just been domestic, it's attracting international attention too. Royal watchers across Europe and the Commonwealth are closely analyzing Christian's actions, comparing his rise to that of Princess Leonor of Spain and Princess Ingrid Alexandra of Norway. But unlike his counterparts, Christian appears to be moving at lightning speed, stepping into the kind of leadership role many heirs don't see until their 30s or 40s. This accelerated trajectory could mark a historical precedent. If King Frederik ultimately decides to permanently hand over the reins, or at least establish a formal co-regency, Denmark could see one of the youngest functional monarchs in its modern history. And with the world watching, Christian's every step, word, and gesture will be recorded, scrutinized, and remembered. But there's more to this than just royal protocol and public appearances. Sources close to the palace claim that Christian is already participating in internal decision-making processes, quietly attending high-level briefings, reviewing documents, and even giving feedback on policy directions presented to the royal court. If true, this suggests that his involvement is far more substantive than ceremonial. It signals the emergence of a monarch in training who may already be wielding real influence behind the scenes. Even more surprising is the shift in how senior politicians are treating the young prince. According to parliamentary insiders, several ministers have begun including Crown Prince Christian in conversations typically reserved for the sovereign. They've noted his thoughtful questions, keen interest in the welfare of Danish citizens, and his surprising grasp of policy implications, especially in areas such as education, climate, and international diplomacy. This new dynamic is ushering in a quiet evolution in the constitutional role of the crown. While Denmark remains a constitutional monarchy with limited political power for its royals, the symbolism of a strong, articulate heir taking on leadership duties resonates deeply. In an age of political cynicism, the royal family's renewed relevance could serve as a unifying force, particularly under the image of a young prince stepping up during a time of mystery and transformation. Still, questions abound. Will Frederik return to his duties with renewed vigor? Is this temporary or a signal of something deeper? Could an official regency be declared, or even a second abdication in less than 2 years? The Danish constitution allows for flexibility in times of royal absence, but never has the situation felt so ambiguous, so unprecedented. Adding to the complexity are rumors that King Frederik is facing personal or emotional challenges. Some royal correspondents have hinted at the possibility of burnout or even a midlife crisis exacerbated by the pressures of kingship. Others suggest that he may be navigating health concerns privately, choosing discretion over disclosure to avoid panic or unnecessary media speculation. If this is the case, then Crown Prince Christian's emergence may not just be symbolic, but a practical necessity. Despite the speculation, the palace continues. to maintain its dignified silence. Inquiries from journalists are met with vague assurances of the king's well-being and continued commitment to his role. But for those watching closely, the writing on the wall is growing clearer by the day. A new generation is rising, and the royal balance is shifting. Crown Prince Christian, for his part, appears unshaken. He has not addressed the situation publicly, choosing instead to lead by example. His calm under pressure, his ability to remain composed amid swirling speculation, and his growing presence on the international stage all suggest a young man destined for greatness. And the public, for the most part, is rallying behind him. Polls show a surge in confidence in Christian's abilities, with many Danes expressing their admiration for how he's handled this moment of uncertainty. From rural towns to the halls of government, the sentiment seems to be, if Christian is the future, we're in good hands. But this extraordinary moment is also a test of leadership, resilience, and unity. It challenges the very fabric of monarchy in a modern democracy. Can a 19-year-old truly step into the shoes of a sovereign? Is Denmark ready for a generational leap in leadership? Or is this moment of transition a brief interlude before the king returns and restores the status quo? And what of Queen Mary's role in the days to come? Will she emerge as a guiding force beside her son? Will she assume a more prominent public voice while Frederik remains absent? These questions swirl around the royal court, unanswered but not ignored. What is certain, however, is that Denmark finds itself in the middle of a royal transformation. Quiet, calculated, and deeply symbolic. And it is happening before our very eyes. A secret royal journey has become a catalyst for change. A young prince has begun to reign in spirit, if not in law. And a nation watches, wonders, and perhaps prepares to embrace a new era far sooner than expected. The fairy tale of Denmark's royal family has taken a dramatic twist. The crown may not yet have changed heads, but its weight has already shifted. Christian's moment has come, not in a future imagined, but in a present unfolding. So now, we ask you, with King Frederik's mysterious absence and Crown Prince Christian's sudden rise to power, are we witnessing the dawn of a new reign, or merely a temporary trial for a prince destined to rule? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video, share it with fellow royal watchers, subscribe for more exclusive updates, and ring the bell icon so you never miss a royal revelation.